We'll do that when they come back with our Thank you guys for actually coming here and waiting.
Alright, yeah.
Hey, is there something after this?
Okay.
In here?
Only you and your sexiness.
Okay. Very well. Okay, so is this panel it's just Johnny? Is that Very well then. I am Johnny. We got that part worked out already. And you want me to tell stories?
I want you to tell the quarter story.
Okay, alright, I'm going to tell you guys a story, and then if you guys have some questions, we'll do some questions. In fact, if the guys get here with the guitars in time, I'll sing the answers to your questions. So it'll be like a really kind of pointless waste of your time, but it will be fun for me. Okay, so story time with Johnny Yong Bosch. Okay, this is a true story. I was working on Bleach, and I was heading home. When I head home, I have to take the freeway. In LA, everything's at least 30 minutes away. Traffic, it's a lot longer. So anyhow, I take the freeway, and I exit the freeway, and you know when you exit the off-ramp or whatever, sometimes there's a stoplight, and you have to go left underneath the overpass or whatever. That's how I usually get home. You're all familiar with that kind of setup, right? Okay, anyhow, so every time I exit, on the left-hand side, at the end where the stoplight is, there's always like a homeless guy there, you know, asking for money or whatever, and then he has like a cardboard thing that folds like 3 times, and if you don't give money, then he's like, God bless you, which you know that's not really what he means to say. And so anyways, there's always some dude there, and I never give money to them because it just feels weird. I'm driving, you know, and so I always fake like I'm listening to the radio or changing it. I'm busy in my car right now at the stoplight. And so anyways, this one day after Bleach, I didn't finish all my food, and I had like this Ziploc bag full of carrots, and I was scarfing down my carrots. And there were 4 or 5 cars in front of me, and the light was red. And so we're waiting, and this monster truck actually pulls up behind me. And I couldn't see through my rearview mirror through the tinted window, you know, and it just felt like this really big man, like, just seemed so angry and like towering over me. I was just like, get out of the way. You know, I just felt like, man, I'm gonna, as soon as that thing turns green, I'm out of here. So as I'm like feeling all this, I look over, because I'm expecting to see the homeless guy there, and this day there's a homeless woman. And I don't usually see homeless women, you know? And when I saw her there, and she had like this really sad face, yeah, I felt bad for her, you know? My heart went out to her, and I was like, oh man, I should give her something, you know? I'm from the South, so, you know, there's still some of that chivalry in me. And so, yeah, my heart went out to her, and I was like, oh, I better do something. And in LA, you have to pay for parking everywhere you go. And so I had like, you know, my cup holders were full of quarters. So I finished up those carrots, and I took that Ziploc bag, and I was like, you know what, all these quarters, it's like 2 pounds worth of quarters. I just threw in this Ziploc bag, and I zipped it up, you know, and I thought, this is a good chunk of change, you know, 2 pounds, that's a lot. And so I start rolling down my window, and she sees that, and she's like, puts her sign down, she's like, oh, this guy's gonna be nice. And the light changes green, and these 4 or 5 cars in front of me just start, boom, they take off, you know? And I'm like, oh gosh, I better start moving. Because this guy behind me's like, you know? And so I'm like, oh dude, okay, so I take the quarters out, and I'm like holding them out like this. And I'm going, and then I'm approaching her, and she's got her hands down like this, you know? She's like, in the car going like this, you know? And I'm like, wait a minute. And I realize that I'm going like 20 or 30 miles an hour at this point. And I'm thinking in my head, and this is only like a couple seconds, I'm thinking in my head, how is this exchange going to happen? You know, like how am I going to, like, how do I tie this out? Like, what if she doesn't let go and I drag her under the car and kill her? You know, or she pulls me out of the car and kills me. So I'm thinking, this is not going to work out right, you know? And I'm like, dude, I'm a martial artist. If I just focus, I can figure this out. And my timing's perfect. And so I'm going, you know, 20, 30 miles an hour, and I'm thinking, okay, all you have to do, Johnny, is just flick your wrist like this. And it would gently, you know, land into her hand. And so I'm thinking, here we go. All right, ready? And now. And I watch. as this 2-pound bag of quarters flies in the air out of my hand. She's like this. And hits her in the face hard at 20 or 30 miles an hour. This is 2 pounds. Now, this is like, it's like me throwing this thing, you know, like at her face. I saw, like, you know that bullet time when people like shoot things through glass, you can see it shatter or whatever? I saw her whole face go like, I saw all, like, everything. I mean, it was already going slow for me, but everything went even slower once I hit her, because there's nothing I could do. And I was like, no! Like, seriously cried out no as I went by her. And she's like, and then her expression went from one of like, oh yeah, I'm getting money to, oh. Like, she thought I totally was like, screw you, homeless woman! And that's a true story. And I hit her square in the face, and I felt so bad. I know. You go and try to do something nice for some homeless person, you know? So I'm just warning you guys, you know, don't give. That's a horrible thing to say.